Z650 RS. Oh. I like the style of the numbers on these gauges here on the dash. Fuel gauge, coolant temp, time, odometer, gear indicator, simple controls. You can go through here, get your range, average MPG, something, trip A, trip B, blah blah blah. Yeah, turn signal, hazards, horn, high beams, adjustable levers, the little rotary dial. Pretty simple. Fire up. Clutch on this is medium light, not bad. I like it, it's a good feel. Brake lever, feels solid.
650 RS and then the Vulcan S.
Very positive click on the gear shifter. I really like that on these Kawasaki's, I will say. Feels pretty light. Feels very light. Brakes work good on this. Yeah, they work very good. Easy to get in neutral. Yeah, she's peppy. This 650. I owned a Vulcan 650, so I'm familiar with this engine. I feel like it's a little more peppy feeling than the Vulcan. Feels like it revs a little smoother or something. But I mean, still very similar though. But yeah, I like this motor in this more standard bike like this. Yeah, man, this mirror's way off. You know, this bike doesn't seem to have that bad. It has it a little, but it's a lot more forgiving on this Z650 RS than on that. I rode the Z900 RS, you know, 4-cylinder version of this bike. But man, that throttle, it was, or the on-off on that bike was heavy. It's not as bad on this bike. A lot more. A little more refined feeling than even the Z900 RS. I need to update the Z900. Shifting down is even without rev matching, pretty smooth. Light clutch, feels good. This bike feels really light and nimble, actually. Feels like it's just ready to pounce, like it wants to lean in. I'm not going to really get to wring this thing out the way I want on this ride. But, I mean, obviously the motor on the Z900 RS sounds so much better than this, but I would actually own this. I wouldn't own the Z900 RS because of how bad that on-off throttle is. It's kind of tiring on your hand a little bit to have to be really fine with the throttle control. For my riding it previously, this is not near as bad, or doesn't seem to be. And the throttle resistance is lighter on this bike, so maybe it's not as bad because of that. This motor's still peppy. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's fast, it's quick. It's a little quicker than quick. That's kind of the best way to describe it. It doesn't mess around, it just goes. I mean, it's not gonna, I don't feel like the power of this bike is overwhelming or nothing, not even close, but it's fun, and it's still peppy and quick. I don't feel like you're going to get left behind in the curves on this bike. Appreciate it. Thank you, MLS, for hosting this in Kawasaki. Good, just kind of low and mid-range torque for just kind of cruising on this bike. Really easy. And I mean, it's a beautiful, gorgeous bike too. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like I prefer the looks of the Z650 RS, and I can't figure out why that is. I don't know if it just looks a little, maybe it's the exhaust being a little more hidden than on the Z900. I think it looks better on this bike. I'm not sure exactly why that is. Clutch so light, 1-2 finger, yeah, no problem. And this is a, from experience, the 650 motor, and this is going to be reliable. Very versatile motor, maybe not a lot of character, but it's peppy, it's fun. Yeah, it's a good overall motor. I think that's my something Kawasaki does really good is it's their transmission of has just the right. It's a very short throw shifter, but a very good click up and down, so you really know if you're in gear. There's no questioning, you know. This bike handles good. It's easy, no effort to turn in. Absolutely no effort. It just goes into the corners. Yeah, you look where you want to go, and that's where this bike's going to go. So the handling is very confidence inspiring on this bike, I'll say that. And the seat, I mean the position, my legs are up a little. I'm 6'1", my knees are bent a little more than 90 degree, but you can move around on the seat if you needed to. I don't feel uncomfortable by any means. And the seat height, I feel like it's still short enough to be very accessible to most riders. And the seat feels comfortable, at least initially. Like I said, still has that on-off throttle thing that Kawasaki's have, but it's not as bad as the Z900 RS. I mean, overall, it's a good little bike. It's a great looking bike. Would I own this? Yeah, I think I'd own this. I wish it had cruise control. That'd make it a lot more appealing to me. I hate it when bikes don't have cruise control. Yeah, this is just light, sporty. Retro fun and not uncomfortable neither. Clutch is easy to modulate, has a good feel. I feel like the lever on this, the clutch on this, has the perfect resistance. It's a peppy little bike. Would I say it's a beginner bike? Oh man, I feel like it's easy to manage. Might be, I don't know, might be just a tad too much power for some beginners. Is it something you can grow into? Yeah, but you would probably preferably start with something less powerful than this, I think, as a beginner. Yeah. A competent, responsible, you know, beginner could absolutely start on this though. But you know, it's going to come down to the individual. As far as the weight, the height, all that stuff, this bike is very easy, very easy. And like I said, the power's not overwhelming or nothing. It's just, I don't know, it just depends. There's just some idiots out there when they get on bikes, they don't have a clue. But overall, I like this bike. Yeah, the gauges are simple, the controls are simple, everything's pretty simple, you know. And I thought that's fine. I actually like it. It gives you the information and stuff you need. The biggest complaint I have about this bike is just the on-off throttle thing. If Kawasaki would smooth, they seem to have that issue on almost every bike. Maybe not so much on the new 500. I rode that little Eliminator and I didn't notice it too bad on that bike, but yeah, the 650 series motors, 650 series bikes they have, and the 900, it definitely has it, and they need to sort that out, or at least get it dialed down a little bit better. That's the biggest complaint I have with the Kawasaki bikes. Good pet. She can get up, she can get out of the way. It's not bad at all. And then she cruises fine in 6th. Plenty of mid-range torque. This bike will do fine on highway, you know. It's a little bit light, so it could get blown around some, but not. It'd take a pretty windy day though to really bother you, I feel like. I mean, obviously it's a naked bike, no protection, so you know, you probably wouldn't want to be all on a highway all day on this bike, but you could do it, you know. You ain't got no problem getting up speed. This bike can move. Some of the closest competitors to this bike would be like your Moto Guzzi V7, your Bonneville T100 or Speed Twin 900, the Interceptor 650. Yeah, those would be like your closest competitors to this bike. This bike is sportier than every one of those. Performance wise, I think it would outdo every one of them. But those bikes are more refined, more characterful. Which do you prefer, performance or character refinement? This bike lacks a little bit of refinement as far as the throttling, that on-off throttle, and yeah. But it's gonna lean better and be quicker than all those bikes though. Not by a lot, but it will be. Got that positive neutral finder, easy to get neutral.
Alrighty guys, how was that ride? How'd that ride go for you?
And that's it. Okay.
The dealership here does have a food truck. If you'd like to go over there, they have a food truck. They have some coupons over there under the patio, I guess.
Good looking bike.
We'll see you soon.
I like it.